Welcome back to Kalgoorlie. Ahead of race number 3, this one is the Coastal Midwest Handicap over 1,100 metres, and we need to talk about the dominance of two jocks over the last, the round, the Hannon's Day and then the first two today. It's William Pike and Craig Newitt have won 9 of the last 10 races. But in this one, it looks like it could change.
It does look like it could change, and I'm looking away from the camera, and there's a Mitchell Pateman over there who's staring down the barrel. He looks as though he might ride a couple of winners in a row here, so hopefully for him, he can make a dent on this Kalgoorlie campaign.
He'll be very much hoping so. Chris Shane, what about this dominance from these two jocks? It's been profound. We know that it's something at the KBRC that they have the visiting jockey every year, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's good that that initiative continues, and it's been going back for many years now, that the KBRC sort of, in theory, sponsors a visiting jockey, and the calibre that we have had over the years has been right up there, and no exception this year with Craig Froggy Newitt.
Absolutely, he's put in some absolute peach of rides on Thursday and again today. Let's take a look at them in the yard for this third event, and we start with Night Voyage. Well, this horse has been carrying the absolute grandstand at its last 3 starts. Gets a little bit of weight relief today, not an awful lot, but it's not 62.5 today, which is always of help for Martin Allen and Jade McNaught.
I know, and that 2 kilo claim of Jade McNaught is luxury, especially for a horse like this, Night Voyage. Gets into 59.5, which is actually the lightest weight that Night Voyage has carried in his last 11 starts, Britt. It's incredible to think that he's carried 60 plus on all of those occasions. He's a natural back marker. He can over race. He will get wide onto the corner, you would imagine, but he's definitely got the turn of foot necessary to win this race. He's getting out to what I think is a very backable price. He's now out beyond $5.
Yes, he is. He opened at $2.50, but I think that support that has come for the next horse we'll look at, which is Mervyn, I think that the support has meant that Night Voyage has to go out the other way. $4.80 currently with Tab Touch fixed odds. So it's a nice price for Night Voyage, who, as you mentioned, has not felt this lighter weight on his back in quite some time and has been running admirably with the big weights as well. The 2, it is Mervyn, it is the money horse, $3.50 into $2.35. Drawn 1, very significant for this on-pace galloper, Peter Fernie and Mitch Pateman.
Absolutely, Britt. You know exactly what you're going to get with Mervyn. He is very, very quick, and he's almost as sharp as Grant Lemos's suit there in the mounting yard. That is something to behold. Mervyn, he's very, very quick. He'll be in front after 2 strides, and I think Mitch Pateman will probably put the foot down at about the 600, really let him roll, and don't be surprised to see him 2 or 3 lengths clear of the field coming into the home corner. It's all going to be down to his last 50 metres whether or not he can hold on, but I definitely think he can.
Gee, forget Pickety Yard about the horses. I think we need to be looking at the strapper, because that is a phenomenal suit there. Bright, electric blue. I like it a lot. The 3, Count to Moz Off. David Harrison, we've seen him prepare the previous winner. Count to Moz Off is representing his stable here. Chris Parnham to ride.
Yeah, he's right up on his toes. Britt towing the strapper around the mounting yard. Draws gate 4. They make a couple of gear changes to Harrison stable. Winkers on, pacifiers off to try and sharpen him up. His 2 runs in this prep have both been below his best. Beaten 5 Dutch Spy, beaten 4 minus looks. He put in a couple of nice runs last preparation. If he could return to his best, he'd be in the mix.
Senorita Bonita is another runner here from the Fernie camp. They obviously, we've already looked at Mervyn. They have this horse engaged as well, the Scandal Keeper mare, to be ridden by William Pike.
Look, she's going to get a nice run in behind Mervyn. She's going to be the one that's stalking the speed, so she'll probably be a couple of lengths off Mervyn, because we do expect Mitch Pateman to probably let him roll. So I think that Senorita Bonita will be in that stalking position, and she goes gangbusters here at Kalgoorlie. 6 wins, 8 other minors from her 20 outings. She's obviously hard to beat.
She's at $3 here, so has been the subject of a bit of support. Spirit and Fire, the scratching. So we move on to the 6, Desert Thorn. Out the gate, opened $9, out to $16 for Jim Enright and Kiri Yule.
And probably going to continue on that path, Britt. Won the Broome Sprint. It was a really, really good win. That got penalised, obviously, in the ratings points for that victory, but he's racing really well. He's never been here to Kalgoorlie. He's 53 days between runs. Look, I'm not sure.
Viking Forest is the 7 and the final runner for Josh Brown and Craig Newitt.
Another one that they've thrown the gear changes out to try and get a sharpen up and improvement and a little bit of more genuine racing out of this 7-year-old gelding. Blinkers on, winkers off, Craig Newitt on, a back marker, going to be up against it.
It opened at $34 into $15. Where do you think that support came from in terms of the punters?
Oh, look, there's no doubt that Viking Forest has the ability to win this race, Britt. On his gay, he's got a very, very good turn of foot. He should have won a Fitzpatrick Plate a couple of years ago, but he just doesn't seem to fire on all cylinders here at Kalgoorlie. 13 starts, only the 4 minors.
But hey, those juicy odds were enough to take the risk there. Chris Shane, you've cast your eye over these gallopers. What took your eye from the yard and as they now head out in their preliminaries?
Yeah, I thought Mervyn pick of the yard for me, Brittany. I'm going to stick with the Kambana Lodge team. They've got a couple in this, but Mervyn, he's recorded as a chestnut gelding, but in the eye he's clearly grey, but he may have been bred in that colour scheme, but he's the grey going out there doing their preliminaries. He was really good first up at Belmont, and he looks to have stripped fitter, well-defined muscle in the back end, and yes, he definitely should have come on from that run down at Belmont Park behind Stage Man. He only got beaten 2.5 lengths, so and they went really quick in front, and was challenged as well. So he does his best work in front. He leads them up here. And obviously better suited, I think, at 1100. He's won 3 times at that distance. He was 1,000 metres, probably gassed a little bit in front there first up. So we'll make the pick of the yard in race 3 out of Kalgoorlie on Cup Day, Brittany, in Mervyn.
Yeah, certainly looks very hard to beat. And for those who may not know what you mean there with a chestnut gelding and then has turned grey, so often these grey horses don't begin their lives that way. You often see these horses, they can be jet black at birth, and then slowly over the years you just see them getting greyer and greyer as the years go on. It's a little bit like us when we get a bit older, isn't it, Crochet?
That's right, and one astute judge beside me predicts that he'll turn white. So Mervyn, in his later on in his career.
Well, he is still that quite a dark grey, isn't he? So absolutely, you will imagine that he will get lighter and lighter as the years go on. Currently a 6-year-old, and a 6-year-old that has plenty of pace to burn out of the gates. This wind again picking up here, which is only going to be suited towards Mervyn, pushing them along that back straight. But this is a horse that when you look at the figures, it can record some serious to the 600 time. He just leads. 3 starts ago, he actually led over 14 lengths above benchmark, which he can really, really lead time here, and I think on this track it looks like it will suit him down to the ground, being able to skip along. Not taking anything away from a horse like a Night Voyage, as Scott mentioned, was getting out to that price where you don't mind having a nibble as well, but carrying 62.5 at his last 3, I thought he'd been very admirable, considering and including winning with 62.5, which not many horses are able to do that, but clearly he is a bit of a weight carrier, but he won't know himself with 59.5 on his back. It's been a long time since he has carried that weight, and Jade McNaught's claim is a real luxury for Night Voyage, so no surprise to see him perform well here. But it's Mervyn who is, I think it's unanimous from the yard here with Mervyn. Scott Embry joining us here for his top 4 selections.
2, 1, 4, 3, Britt. I think Mervyn will be simply too quick for them here. I think Mitchell Pateman will really put the handlebars down. He might have been a little bit soft on him first up at Belmont Park. He was first up, no trial, but the faster the better for Mervyn. His worst 50 metres of his racing is his last 50, which is strange, but he's a high-speed horse, and I think he'll be quick around the corner, and it wouldn't surprise me at all, as I mentioned before, to see Mervyn out by 2 or 3 lengths freewheeling into the home corner. So 2 on top Mervyn from 1 Night Voyage, 4 Senorita Bonita, and looking for some improvement from 3 Count Tomozov, 2, 1, 4, 3.
All right, it's unanimous from the yard with Mervyn. Let's see if Mitch Pateman is able to break this trend. We've seen William Pike and Craig Newitt just dominate this Kalgoorlie round, but I have a feeling that Mitch Pateman will be nice and fired up. He has a nice book of rides today, and he said on radio on yesterday morning, that he was keen to take the crown back off William Pike. He likes to be known as the King of Cal, so he'll be wanting to regain that title. Let's see if he can do it aboard Mervyn. Here's Darren for the call of the 3rd.
Runners are beginning to move in for the next race number 3, the Coastal Midwest Handicap. Viking Forest walking up there has made its way in. Mervyn is ready. Attended with Count Tomozov. Desert Thorn about to be brought along. Last start winner of the Broome Sprint up there at Ganthium Point. Now Count Tomozov goes up there, Senorita Bonita. William Pike wearing the turquoise coloured cap, distinguishing cap there. with Mervyn in the first set of the Kambana Lodge colours. And now here comes Night Voyage, and they'll be ready at any tick of the clock for race number 3. Jade McNaught brings Night Voyage in. All set. Red lights now appear, and they're going to fly. Ready? Gates are back and they're racing, and Night Voyage is back last as they get going, and Mervyn clearly won the start from the stablemate Senorita Bonita. Out pretty well also is Desert Thorn after the start, and all of a sudden the field started to string out now. A gap in the field, Viking Forest, followed by Count Tomozoff, and last of all is Night Voyage. And out to the side they head by the 750, and the Flying Grey Mervyn leads the way. It's Mitch and Mervyn, 2 lengths Senorita Bonita. Pike stalks him, 2 lengths behind them. They're about 4 in front from Desert Thorn. Then Viking Forest moving to 4th, a gap then of about 4 lengths Count Tomozoff, and Night Voyage has got the task in front of it. Mervyn running them into the home corner. By the 375, it's Mervyn by 2. Pike sitting right behind him with Senorita Bonita, calls upon her. Here's Viking Forest starting to let down, however. It's coming with a run. It's Mervyn at the 200, a length and a half clear. Senorita Bonita around his heels now attacks. Senorita Bonita goes up, grabs Mervyn. Pike on the outside, gets the head in front. Senorita Bonita. Senorita Bonita has given Pike yet another one from Mervyn. Viking Forest has run 3rd. Then Count Tomozoff, who's back there in that photo for 4th in company with Desert Thorn. And back at the tail is Night Voyage, who has simply run off its legs. It was a crafty ride by Pike on Senorita Bonita. For the Fernie yard, he had the Flying Mervyn, and all he wanted to do was sit in his slipstream. And he sat until he had to go. And then when he did, Senorita Bonita pounced. And Viking Forest, with that man Craig Newitt looking for another as well, head loomed to them and peaked on its run. But W. Pike does it once again. And that's a double for him in the first 3 races this afternoon. Senorita Bonita by Scandalkeeper from Sir Rosie by Schwarcia, trained by Peter Fernie. For P. Flay and A. Newman, M. Newman, J. Farley, S. Miles and G. Flay. Second is 2, the stablemate Mervyn by Henny Hughes out of Chancery Court, Mitchell Pateman. Third is number 7, Viking Forest. The Dane Shadow Gelding, Josh Brown, Craig Newitt. Fourth is number 6, Desert Thorn. 3/4, a length and a half of the margins in a time of 1:03.95, just 0.91 of a second outside of another Miracles 1989 record. And so they are running time here in Cal. 33.65 is the closing sectional, and that is Senorita Bonita's 12th win from 44 starts. Such an honest mare. And she's back in the winners list again here, having won the Gold Rush back at the end of August. Went to Belmont Park most recently, returns back onto a home deck, and a great ride there tactically by W. Pike to give the Wizard the second leg of a double after 3 races. So again, it's the Pike and Froggy Newitt show in the early part of the Cup day card. Race 4, the West Speed Platinum Handicap at 2:12, 1200 metres the next on the program, and there are no scratchings in the next. Now let's go back to the yard once again. We'll catch up now. Britt Taylor, and also down there in the yard at the moment is Britt, in actual fact, and she's with those winning connections after the victory of Senorita Bonita.
And Scotty Embry's going to catch up with Peter Fernie, and I'll grab William Pike after a masterful ride.
Yes, thanks, Mac. It's bad news for Peter Fernie because he has to talk to me. Senorita Bonita, Mervyn going into the race. Peter, did you have a lean either way?
Well, you always know Merv's fast. Senorita's won 12 races at the track now, so she was always going to be really hard to beat with Willie riding her, because normally when she races here, she has apprentices on her, and with these metropolitan ratings that she dropped a fair bit in weight, and we had the luxury of having Willie Pike on, which makes a big difference.
She doesn't seem to fire at Belmont Park. Do you have a theory?
Oh, her runs when we took her down there were really good, but she's most probably similar to Merv because the straights are too long for her. She'll most probably go better if she went to Ascot, but she really loves Cal and been a fantastic horse for me.
And the ride of Willie Pike stalking Mervyn all the way, was that his genius, your genius, or a little bit of both?
Oh, well, I told him that's if he wants to beat Merv. Like, I've got two different lots of owners, so you've got to weigh it up for both of them, and that's how I told him to ride him, and he rode him really well, and he thought he was in a bit of trouble because Merv can kick really fast for about 150, and he thought Merv had him beaten, but he just got a bit tired.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
And I've got William Pike over here, who I think is pretty happy with himself. A big smirk on your face. You must have just been giggling to yourself taking that little slipstream.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It's sort of how I'd hoped it'd happen, and it doesn't always pan out that way. So I got to get in the slipstream, and that was the plan, to try and get in the slipstream and stalk. Try not to go too early because she has a good kick, but it's just not a real long kick.
We know Mervyn runs them along really fast. Coming into the corner, did you think you were able to, once you'd extricated the horse out and got a bit of room, did you think that you'd be running over the top?
Well, initially no, because Mervyn quickened really well, had me off the bridle, and I thought I actually didn't think I was going to grab him from there. But when I got sort of back in contention and got to his outside at the 200 there, I was a whole lot more confident.
Between you and Craig Newitt, it's been a phenomenal round so far. How many more winners can we add to the tally?
Well, there's one main one that we're all after, but look, I don't know. I'll be happy with anything I can get.
All right, let's see how many more you can do. Well done.
Thank you.
William Pike with yet another winner for this round. Him and Craig Newitt dominating proceedings, and even then Craig coming in third on Viking Forest, which was the outsider. But congratulations to Senorita Benita.
Just outside of the record for race number 3, the 1100 Coastal Midwest Handicap presentation to take place in the next few moments. Once again, Chrishane Warren will be introducing you to the sponsors and the winning connections of Senorita Benita, ridden to victory by William Pike. Race 4 comes up next at 12 minutes after 2 o'clock.
Ready. Thanks for that, Darren. Senorita Benita taking out the Coastal Midwest Handicap, stalked the leader and was able to come off heels on the turn and run Mervyn down. Just outside track record time, Peter Fernie trains and William Pike aboard. To introduce proceedings, we welcome back Mr. Aaron Hill, Director of the Calgary Boulder Racing Club Board.
Thanks again, Chrishane. Major sponsor, Coastal Midwest Transport, depots in Kalgoorlie and Perth. They do all our transport here at the KBRC, and we really appreciate everything you do for us, and also Kalgoorlie itself. Congratulations, connections, Senorita Benita. Once again, Peter Fernie and Willie Pike, deadly combo at the moment, so well done, and hopefully they keep having winners. I'd like to introduce everyone to one of the owners, Peter Flay, on behalf of the KBRC. Congratulations, Peter.
Chairman, committee members and the members of the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club, it's a pleasure to be here to accept the trophy. I thank the sponsors who sadly couldn't be present on course, but many thanks to them. I thank my trainer Peter Fernie and his staff for doing a great job with the horses I sent up to him, and William Pike, who could do a better job than he does. So a thank you to all those good people, and I'm delighted to accept this trophy. Thank you.
Race number 4, folks. It's the West Speed Platinum Handicap over 1,200 metres, 58 plus benchmark race. Field of 8 to go around. It comes up at 12 minutes past 2.